And without further ado, it's time to bring on our special guest for this 421 edition of Patties Radio on HMS Net Radio and on the Patties Radio podcast. They're two members of the group that won the 2008 award for College Band of the Year at the Boston Music Awards. They're also coming off a stellar tour at South by Southwest. Patties Peeps, it's time to bring on Dave and Phil of Bearstonaut. Gentlemen, welcome to Patties Radio.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for having us.
All right, so because it's 421, a lot of our listeners are under the influence right now. So because of that, we're just gonna start firing off questions. Is that okay?
All right, we can support that. We're not big smokers, but we've got some friends who are, and we appreciate them and support them. So.
All right, party on. Well, first question, Dave, is for you. All the female Patties Peeps and mustache aficionados around the world want to know: are you currently rocking a mustache?
Oh man, I wish I could say I was. I'm sad to report the news that it is on indefinite hiatus for the summer months. I've had it for almost. I think I've had it for over 6 months now. I took a break after having it for about a year, so I'm starting to do a mustache cycle. But it is not gone forever. I can report that.
All right, for all those that don't know, Dave is usually known to rock a mustache that is Luigi-esque, if you will. All right, Phil, same question. What kind of furry facial hair do you have on your face right now?
Currently none. I've tried rocking a beard before, but I don't know. It's just too thin. It's not full enough, so I just stick to like unshaven at best. That's pretty much it.
We're all French Canadian, so it's kind of hard to grow facial hair for us.
And there's your answer from our well-groomed French Canadian guest, Dave and Phil from the group Bearstonaut, joining us right here on this 421 edition of Patties Radio. All right, so now tell the people about the band name, because a lot of people hear Bearstonaut and they don't know what the hell is going on.
So yeah, Bearstonaut is a character from a Brad Neely comic strip that was online. Kind of mentioned within the Professor Brothers series that he did on a website for a couple different episodes. But it's just a character that he had within there that we caught a few years back and decided to run with it.
And run with it you did, because apparently from all the reviews I'm hearing, you guys absolutely killed in Austin at South by Southwest last month. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Plus, Dave and Phil are going to give you their exclusive Patties Top 5 David Bowie songs of all time. And remember that their music is available right now on Bandcamp, bearstonaut.bandcamp.com. That's bearstonaut.bandcamp.com. All right, so Phil, tell us about your sound, because listening to a lot of your songs, you're all over the place. You can't really put y'all in a category as one type of genre of music, because there's so many different sounds, and like, who are your influences and where does it all come from?
Essentially it's like synth pop. I mean, we all like, we kind of take from, I don't know, bands like Duran Duran and Depeche Mode and stuff like that, like 80s Hall & Oates even, you know. We all like different kinds of, you know, old school soul and R&B, and you know, it's kind of a mesh of genres, really.
Yeah, and I mean, the sound has definitely varied over the last couple of years, and our first album kind of explains that, where we were all different kinds of bands from high school, and then we all met in college, and I was in a death metal band, and Phil was in more of like a classic rock type band, and then our two other guys were in more of like a Oasis, Britpop type thing. So we all came together, and we just like really got into writing pop songs, and hopefully that's what comes across, but it is what it is, I guess.
Now, I mean, it comes off as brilliant, but I wonder, like, you say pop music, and my mind automatically goes back to my childhood, my younger years, when I was dancing around doing the bye 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 and tearing up my heart with NSYNC. And the music you're making sounds nothing like that. And I remember watching a interview that you guys did earlier in your careers where you said you were doing like 75% of cover songs. So I guess my question to you would be, Dave, is how does a group go from doing cover songs to having this sound that's just so uniquely yours and just that's so electrifying?
Well, covers really brought us together, and I'm sure that's the case for most bands that stay together anyway, where you're good friends and you can talk about stuff that you like as far as influences and genres, and you just started doing stuff that we all knew, and realized that was kind of the music that we wanted to try but at the same time kind of make it our own thing without stealing from people. So it's taken us a while, and definitely, we've written some songs that we're not huge on and don't really play anymore, but needed them to kind of figure out what we needed to work on and polish up.
All right, well, enough talking about your great sounds. How about we let all the Patties peeps listening right now on HMS Net Radio and via the Patties Radio podcast hear some of the stuff we're talking about. Why don't you tell them about the song that we're about to play and the trailer that you just released for the video that should be coming out soon, right?
Yeah, the song's called Moniker, and we released it a while ago. We have some friends of ours that wanted to try their hand at making a music video for it, and we were on board for it, so we shot it back in October, and it's been kind of taking a while to get it done, but it should be coming out pretty soon. So we don't know exact date yet, but the next month, I would say. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully before summer, or just at the beginning, we'll have it out. And we also have Monikers available on vinyl 7-inch via Vanya Records. So if you're interested in getting a vinyl of this, you can get that off on your Records.
Sounds good to me. Why don't you go ahead and take it away? Introduce your song.
Okay, cool.
All
right. Bearstonaut.
I'm Phil.
I'm Dave. And this is Moniker.
On this special 421, Patties Radio presents The Day After special. Also want to give a big shout out to the Townhouses and their song Backyard. It's what's playing right now in the background on this special 421 edition of your new favorite radio program, Patties Radio. My name is Easy Money, and we are still joined by our special guest hailing from Boston, Mass. They go by the name of Bearstonaut.
Oh, yeah.
It's our good friends Dave and Phil. They're in here with us, and they're about to bring you their list for the segment that is sweeping the nation faster than I can come up with something funny to say. The Patties Top 5. They're going to be bringing you their favorite David Bowie songs of all time. So what I figured I'd do to spark a little controversy, I jumped on Twitter and I started the hashtag Patties Top 5 David Bowie. So we'll see what happens. But before we do all that, first let's talk about your historic trip down to South by Southwest this year. All reviews are that you absolutely burned it down. So my question for you all is, one, how was the trip? And secondly, how did you enjoy your stay in Texas? And remember, Texas people are listening right now. Go ahead, no pressure.
Texas was awesome. We had a blast. It's the longest trip we've gone on together as a band. And it was the first time for all of us to go to Texas, which was really, we were all really excited about just being there. And then to be there as a band and play shows was just that much better. But, yeah, I mean, we got there right before it was, crazy hot. So it was pretty tolerable for some guys from Massachusetts. But shows were great. Met a lot of great people. Got to see some bands. Couldn't complain, really.
Fantastic. That was a very good answer. More importantly, we're going to move on. Here's Dave and Phil giving you their most controversial list. Top 5 David Bowie songs of all time. I'm going to tell you now, like I tell everybody else. If you got a problem with the list, don't tweet at me. Tweet at them. They're on Twitter.
If they want to, we're totally up for the discussion.
Yeah, if they can debate,
that's fine.
We'll debate it.
Bearstonaut on Twitter. That's at Bearstronaut.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I know it seems like I'm showing off my spelling muscle tonight, but don't be fooled, ladies and gents. I am an awful speller. I am just awful. I'll tell you a story. In 5th grade, I was in a spelling bee. Why 5th grade? Because that's the last spelling bee I was in. First word, chest. Nah, done. That was it. My mind went completely blank.
Yeah, I had the same situation. I think it was like 5th grade, and I was doing the spelling bee, and I had to spell cupboard, and I spelled it completely wrong.
Just game over, man.
Yeah, it's
game over.
And I always remember it. It's terrible.
I still can't spell definitely.
But hey, enough about our childhood failures. Let's get into this Patties Top 5, brought to you by Dave and Phil of the group Bearstonaut.
Alright, well,
no particular order. These are just our 5 favorites between the two of us.
First one is Black Country Rock off of The Man Who Sold the World. I like that one a lot. It's got a really good groove to it.
I'm gonna go with next, Somebody Up There Likes Me, off of the Young Americans album, which is hands down one of the best dance records of all time, and you cannot debate that. So,
third one I put down Fame, because you can't really go wrong with Bowie and John Lennon. Yeah, well, these are all basically number 1, so for us. But yeah, you can't deny that funk. It's so good. It's so good.
And I'm actually, this is a bit of a wild card, but I recently got my hands on the David Bowie rehearsal tapes featuring Stevie Ray Vaughan. And this is for the Texas folk.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard these recordings, they will knock your socks off. If you're a Bowie fan, it's incredible. If you're a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, it's incredible. Just to hear him playing these songs on guitar, and you definitely know it's him. But I'd say TVC15 is one of the better cuts off that. It's kind of a hard thing to find, but if you can find it on the internet, it's out there.
All right, that was a pretty formidable list, but I just got one concern. No Ziggy Stardust, nothing, no songs off there.
That's the go-to, man.
Yeah, that's the easy way out.
That's the easy way out for sure. But we will say that "Oh You Pretty Things" from Hunky Dory has to be in there as well.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gents, we want to thank our special guest for joining us for this 421 edition of Patties Radio, Dave and Phil of the group Bearstonaut, or should I say supergroup Bearstonaut.
Really?
Dude, that's awesome.
Wow.
And I hope you'll come back and join us right here on your new favorite radio program, Patties Radio.
All right. Thanks, Patties Radio, and
Bearstonaut.com. Bring it to our Tumblr. And then if you go to bearstonaut.bandcamp.com, that's where we have all our music there.
and please tweet at us and let us know how badly we did on our top 5 and what songs we should have picked. We will definitely be back to hang out with you guys again. Thank you guys for listening and checking our stuff out. This is Dave.
That's Phil.
For Bearstonaut. Have a good 420.
All right, ladies and gents, that was Bearstonaut, your special guest for this 421 edition of your new favorite radio program, Patties Radio.